everyone doing today?
Good.
Can you guys hear me in the back?
Yes.
I'm sure you're all very excited to be up at this hour on a Saturday morning. But anyways, today I want you guys to picture the toughest animal alive on Earth. Okay? Does anyone have any? Yes, the girl in the blue dress?
A bear.
A bear. Anyone else? Yes?
A tiger.
A tiger.
Elephant.
Yes? An elephant. Anyone else? Yes?
Camel.
A camel. Okay. These are all very tough animals. But unfortunately, they don't hold the title for the toughest animal on Earth, because that title already belongs to the tardigrade. And today, the tardigrades are going to be the focus of my speech today. What exactly are tardigrades? I'm going to break my topic up into 3 parts. First, what are tardigrades? Second, their purpose in life. And third, tardigrades in space. And then I'm going to wrap it up with a quick summary. So, now most of you don't know what a tardigrade is, and that's completely okay, because I myself didn't know what they were a few months ago. And I liked them so much that I decided to do a whole speech on them. So the first thing you need to know about tardigrades is that they're microscopic. They're barely the size of a poppy seed, only 0.5 millimeter long. And a poppy seed is one of those small little black seeds you find on a bagel. And speaking of bagels, do you guys know what kind of bagel can fly? A plain bagel.
Oh.
Anyways, these tardigrades are considered predators themselves. That means they use their dagger-like teeth to spear through algae and eat other small organisms. Tardigrades, along with their sharp teeth, have claws, which help in locomotion, and 8 legs. They're nicknamed the water bears or moss piglets because of their appearance. And you might be wondering, what's so important about these little animals? As I mentioned before, they're the toughest animals on Earth. And that brings us to our second part. What is the purpose of tardigrades? They're what scientists like to call extremophils. And by that, I mean that they can survive in almost any condition given, no matter how severe it may be. For example, they can survive a decade in the desert without a single drop of water. They can survive in the deepest trenches of the ocean. They can survive in frozen ice, and they can also withstand 1,000 times the radiation that could kill an elephant. Plus, if they're big enough, they could probably eat a glass sandwich and survive that as well, which is pretty extraordinary. But now the question is how? How can they do all this? They're only this big. Well, the tardigrades have a little secret. Sometimes, when life gets a little too hard for them, they simply shrivel up and die for a while. And by that, I mean they undergo a process called cystobiosis, in which they nearly stop all of their metabolic processes and dehydrate to 3% of their former water content, becoming only 1/2 of their former self. And when the conditions are suitable again, they simply need a little bit of water to spring back to life and continue trudging away on algae, which is also extremely extraordinary. You only need a little bit of water to come back to life. Tardigrades doing this have survived a total of 5 mass extinctions, and they'll probably outlive us as well. Now you might be wondering, how exactly are they doing it? And you might think that they've endured a lot, but their biggest success is that they have survived the intense radiation of outer space. And that brings us to our third and last topic, tardigrades in space. And no, you're not hearing things. A Swedish researcher decided to send them up in a space shuttle in 2007. The tardigrades were put in space by NASA from an airlock door, and they were basically left out in the vacuum of space for a total of 10 days. Now, thanks to Guthrie, you know that a human cannot survive that. And imagine a tiny little animal the size of a poppy seed surviving that for a total of 10 days. That's pretty impossible. But the results were astonishing, because when they came back down to Earth, they were completely fine. And even their offspring were completely fine. Their offspring were healthy, they were not mutated, and everyone was just happy. Tardigrades could survive all that, but they didn't really seem to care that they went up to space, something that most organisms on Earth haven't done. And to clarify, tardigrades are not insects, they're microanimals. So, to wrap things up, they are extraordinary creatures, invincible. But why haven't they taken over the world yet, you might wonder? Well, for 2 reasons. One, because they really are too small. They can't do much when they're only this big. And second, it's because they don't really care about taking over the world. They're completely content with whatever they have right now. To wrap things up, I want to ask you guys one last question. Do you still think that the animal you thought of a few minutes ago is the toughest animal on earth, or have you changed your mind? Thank you. Now I would like to introduce our next speaker with great pleasure, my mom, Savni Sarolkar. She's going to be telling us a story today. She has a bachelor's degree in medicine from India, and her hobbies include cooking, acting, and dancing. Please welcome Savni Sarolkar.